Hey, hey guys. So 112 people are watching. Unfortunately, I can't read the chat while pruning, but if you have any questions or you are just want to share your thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. And after the live, I'm going to get back to you guys and answer all the questions. Right now, I'm focusing on the pruning. We are pruning a Királynka parcel in our winery, in the top winery. This is a white grape, a Hungarian grape variety. And, yeah, we have quite lots of wines to prune. These are old wines. Most of them are 40, 50 years old. And obviously, as you can see here, we have some younger ones as well, because since this is an old, really old vineyard, it has many holes in it and lots of wines are missing. So we are trying to replant those empty spaces each year. But yeah, that's how it looks. That's the church of our town above the hill. We have a pretty beautiful afternoon, maybe even too hot, because if it is going to keep this heat for too long, then the buds might break, and that's pretty dangerous because it's still pretty early spring. The winter just ended, and spring frost is still pretty probable. So that's why we are rooting for the cold to come back for a bit. So yeah, but nonetheless, on a personal level, it is a nice mood right now in the vineyard. It's pretty hard to prune such a vineyard where the variety is so diverse, because there are some very young wines. Some of these are pretty old, and obviously the pruning style of the old ones in some cases is a bit different than what I am trying to achieve here. And you have to remodel them a bit. But yeah, it's quite fun. And I think that pruning is like an art. Obviously, there are rules and there is a science behind it. But between those lines, you have quite a lot of freedom to think ahead and come up with your plan for each and every grapevine. What should it look like for this season? And while you prune, you also have to think about the long term future of the vine as well, because some of these decisions are going to affect next year's canopy management, next year's pruning. For example, I left this little one bud here for this year to grow a shoot, and maybe that shoot is going to be our cane next year. We're going to remove this one, and these two canes are going to be the ones for the season. I always like to clean a bit the bark, because it's these when it has so much dead wood on it and the bark is so huge, it can be a ground for any disease to grow, bacteria, fungi. We hide in these places, but sunlight is the best disinfectant. So that's why I like to. Obviously, it takes a bit of extra time, but still. Okay, let's see. So this is the very old, as you can see, very vigorous, very nice grapevine. But here we have some chaos. It's- So it's quite hard to find the ones you want to keep. Obviously, healthier canes. This one is too small and weak. This one could be okay, but it's too short because it was cut in the season. Because probably it was in a bad location. So I'm not going to remove this completely. I'm going to leave just one bud here for next season. And here, I'm going to see what should we keep. Maybe this one. This one looks nice. And this one is going to be twisted on this side. And I'm going to remove this okay. And this is going to replace it on this side. And let's see what can we do on the other side. Maybe this one. This one looks nice. This season, I'm going to keep a bit longer canes. So we are going to have more of a selection for the green harvest. I'm planning to put more focus on the green harvest this year. So I'm going to keep the canes a bit longer. As you can see here, 2 lines are missing. Some more work for this year. Okay, another beautiful, huge old grapevine. Clean it a bit. And let's see. Now this, obviously, these healthy, big, strong wines are the best, but pruning them can be challenging because some of these canes are even too thick and too strong. And you also have to pay attention and make sure not to break them when you are going to adjust them to the wires. So if they are too thick, they can break while adjusting. As you can see, this last season's cane, this cane was a cane like this last year, and it also broke a bit, but luckily not too much because it survived. Okay, let's see. What should we remove from here? Let me check out if you have any comments in the chat. Not really. Everything is clear. Okay, I'm not even sure if I can see the chat here. And I'm sorry, but I can't really. Okay, let's put it back and continue the pruning. This is a huge mess. Very difficult to find out what is going on here, but I can already see that these canes are not too healthy. These ones are quite healthy, but too far from the bunch. So I'm going to remove this section completely. That now it is a bit getting a bit cleaner. Let's remove this from here and this. So I can see. Maybe remove this one as well. Okay. This one looks good, but actually let's see the location. It goes from under. It's not the best location. I think I'm going to leave this one for one because this one is quite healthy and strong and long, but not too thick. I'm going to keep one bud here just to make sure. And maybe I'm going to keep one from here, from this side. Let's remove this part. That's for sure. And now we are going to try which one should we keep. This one is a very old wine, so and also this whole space is empty, so we can use it and we can leave a bit of a longer cane here, and it bends perfectly. So this is the one that I'm going to keep, and this one is going away. Okay, so we have this one almost perfect. This one should be removed, or no? Oh, actually, no. This is the one that we are keeping. Sometimes it happens that you decide which one to keep, go on the other side, maybe forget it, and you remember that there were two, and you want to remove one of them and keep the other, and cut the wrong one. So I almost did it here because this was a bit weak, and this was the one that I had to remove. But yeah, so luckily didn't confuse them. Let's remove these as well. Today I decided to use the classic scissors because my father has the electric one. That's a lot easier on the wrist. But today I decided to have a wrist training and do it the old school way. Okay, so here, very classical thing that we do with older wines, especially new. Yes, guys, or the call. Okay, it works. So what I was saying is the following. With old wines, especially if they are twisted and moved out of the direction. I mean, this in this situation, it is quite straight, so it's not a huge issue. Some wines can go all the way to one side and get out of line. And in these situations, we keep one shoot that grows from the bottom, and we are going to keep this year as well. And after a few years, maybe even next year or the year after that, we are going to cut this down this side and keep the straight one to align it correctly. And obviously, the whole root system remains the same, the old one. So it is basically going to act like an old vine with the same quality capacity, but in a new shape. But again, as I said, this is not a bad one either. So it's not extremely important to replace it. But yeah, okay. So here, this is pretty clear that we are going to keep this one. These are the best situations when you can see from the get-go what is the situation. Let's remove this one. Okay, this one stays. The other side, I'm not sure if you can see it because it grows from the same position. The other side was quite weak, so we cut that out. And this one is also pretty clear that we are going to keep this one, maybe from here, and cut this one down. And now we have a very clean and nice line, and this is going to replace it. But this here we need to add a stick next to it and pull it up straight. Okay, another new young wine, maybe 2 years old. Right, okay, not too strong yet. It's quite hard to find the best location. Where should I cut? Where should I cut? Maybe here. Okay, that's tough one because these ones are in good position, but all of them are quite thin and weak. But we have to, and it's dry a bit in the end. Okay, now I'm not sure if you can see it against the sun, but this end is already green. Okay, let's keep this one. Or no, this one is going to be the one. Okay. Okay. It's great. We are going to bend it here. This is going to stay here. I'm going to leave one bud for replacement here. And I'm going to keep this one on the other side. Add it here. Let's see if it's green. It's green. It's okay. And this side is probably going to be removed because we don't need it. With this Geo pruning system, you always have to make sure not to bring the growing area, the grapes too far. You want to keep it close, so that's why you always have to select canes from the interior of the vine. And that's why I'm going to remove this one as well. Maybe keep no, this one's unnecessary. Let's remove it from the bin. Right here. Okay, this one is quite weak. Remove it. Let's keep a bud here. Uh, which one did we choose? Again, these two. So we can remove this one as well, but let's keep it here. And let's not keep this one. Okay. Old vine. So this is what I'm talking about. This line is quite tilted to the right side. It should be straight like this. But unfortunately, we do not have a shoot from the bottom. So it's going to stay this way for some more. Obviously, when we are looking for the shoots in the season from the bottom, the shoot has to come from the upper side of the grapevine because if it comes from the rootstock, obviously that's not Vitis vinifera, that's the rootstock vine, which is a different variety, and you don't really want to grow that. So we need after the grafting point. Okay, let's see what can we do here. These are some old buds. Move that, clean it up. This wine is quite interesting because we want some canes from here, but these are quite weak. Maybe this one is okay. Maybe this one is okay. It looks like. Let's keep it. Keep this one. Let's remove these. This is going to be the left side, but the problem is that the rest of the good canes are also on the left side here. So maybe we are going to bend this one on the right, actually. Let's see if we can do it without breaking it. And yes, we can. So this is going to be on this side. As you can see, this one is dry. So we don't need it. And this one is quite short and weak as well. So we are going to remove this side completely. Remove this one as well. And now let's see what can we do on the side. Here, I think we should keep this one looks better. So I'm going to keep this. Let's keep this one. Let's cut it, and this is going to bend here all the way down. Like this. And here, let's keep just one bud. So we can cover this area as well, because as this twists to the other side, this one starts from here. It means that here we wouldn't have any shoots otherwise, but with this bud, we can cover this area as well. Because a vineyard is basically like a solar panel system. You want to catch as much sunlight as you can. So, okay, another quite chaotic grapevine. These are the most challenging ones. Let's see what is happening and what was the idea behind this one. I think here we have some opposing ideas and some collusions here. So one of the issues and one of the reasons for this being so complicated can be the reason that there is an empty space here on the side. And probably me or my father, who was pruning this wine last year, was thinking that this wine should grow on the left side a bit more to cover this area, just as I explained, to catch some more sunlight. But the problem is that I think this is not the best way to do it. And I don't even want to pull this back to make it straight, since we already have two straight trunks here. So I'm going to remove that on the spot. And I think I can already see what to keep. Maybe these two look good. Let's see. Let's keep a huge, very long shoot here so we are going to have the opportunity to elect for green harvest what to keep and organize our growing surface. Okay, let's see if I twisted them. bring it down here. Is it okay? It's perfect. Okay, then we remove everything from here, maybe keeping a few buds, but actually we have an abundance buds to select or keep. So, yes, not overcomplicated. Okay, which one was it? Again, we lost it. Okay, this one. So we can remove this one because this comes from the other side. This one we keep, and maybe this one as well. So these two are going to be our main shoots. Not sure how much can you see from here or hear me. This is our first try, our first test of live streaming. As I said, leave your thoughts in the comments and maybe feedback. What, what, and how should I do it better next time? This was just an ad hoc idea. I just realized that this thing that I'm doing could be interesting for some people. Okay, as you can see, this side of the wine was quite old. And this is the thing with old wines. These are the ones that you need, the ones that all winemakers desire for great quality, but obviously they are not the most durable. Okay, let's keep a bud here, as I said. This is great, and I don't know what to do with this side of the wine. I forgot my saw. This should be sawed down and only keep this one, but the saw is in the car, which is quite far away. So I'm going to leave it for this year. It was lucky, but I'm going to remove this part because it's unnecessary. I'm going to remove this one because it is both unnecessary and weak. Okay. And I think the smartest thing here would be to keep one bud here. So we are going to have a great selection. Catch a shoot here. And this cane is going to be twisted down here, and then we can cover a larger area. Obviously, we larger area and more shoots doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to increase the yield. The yield could be the same because we do the green harvest and keep just a few bunches on each shoot, but we have a larger area, more leaves to catch the sunlight, because for the quality wines, one of the most important points is the ratio of leaves to grapes. So you want to have lots of leaves for a few grapes, and then they can concentrate. Okay, this one, the exact situation as I explained a few minutes ago, when you have an old grapevine twisting on one direction, and you have to work with the situation. Obviously, I'm going to keep this shoot here, and it is going to be pulled up here. And maybe when this grows and it becomes a stronger arm, then we are going to cut it down. It still won't be perfect, but a lot better. I'm not going to touch this one. Maybe cut it back a bit like this. Let's clean the trunk a bit. Then see what we can work with. But I think I can already see the solution for this. It's quite easy. We are going to keep this shoot on this side like this. And we are going to keep the other one on the other side. Again, long canes, so we can select later what to keep. But yeah, it looks nice. Or maybe should I keep this one? Actually, it looks even stronger. Let's see. First of all, we are going to remove these because it's definitely unnecessary. Now let's see. So this is what I'm talking about. This should work, and also this one, but maybe it is going to be easier for these wants to be twisted because they are a bit lower down, and this one's, I feel like they might break if I pull it, or no? No, actually, this one is going to be better. So this is what I'm saying, that this is an art. You're always thinking and rethinking and deciding. So this is how it should look like. Obviously, not this long. Oh, okay, let's remove this part then, and let's cut them to a acceptable length. Be like this. Okay, this is it. Another fresher, newer wine. Let's see. Okay, 37 minutes live streaming. That's great. So for the people who are new, we are pruning a Királylányka grape vineyard in the top winery in Székelyhíd. That is the church of our little town. That is our water tower. Not sure if I can zoom by live streaming, but yeah, 100 people are watching. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Not sure if I can read them as I have said. Let's continue the pruning. Let's continue the pruning. So we have a young grape wine, and we are going to prune it. Okay, this one seems a bit weak. It's still young, obviously, so it's understandable. We can forgive this little wine, but obviously we have to be very careful to prune and select the best canes to keep. So for some reason, this side is a lot stronger, so I'm definitely going to keep one root here, remove this one, and obviously remove this one because you can get what it is trying to accomplish here. This one, the location would be okay, but obviously it's too short, too weak. Remove it, toss it, as they say. This one, let's remove this one, and keep, let's keep this one. Are you guys enjoying the pruning system, the pruning live stream? Should I do this more, or no? Where are you guys from? Where are you watching from? I'm pretty curious who are our viewers on this channel. Obviously, on my personal channel, I have more of a feel to it than on the Wine Inspires community, since obviously this is a larger and more widespread community, and obviously a lot more subscribers. But still, I feel like it's just the beginning for Wine Inspires. We are still finding new ways, and we have so many new projects that we want to show you guys. And we are always testing things, as I do today, live streaming a pruning session, ASMR. Okay, this one's pretty easy and simple. I don't know what was the exact reason for this one right here to be kept. I'm going to remove it since this one is perfect. And we want to keep this little cane, obviously. And which one should we keep? This one looks good as the position, but it's not too strong. But I like this one more. I'm going to keep this one. Let's cut it here. Let's cut the end here, making sure not to cut the wire or break my scissors. This one is unnecessary. And this one should be actually, I keep one eye. And that's how it's going to look like. Next. Wow, we have quite a few young wines here. That means that this section was quite empty. Also, a very sad story. We are right here. We had a beautiful cherry tree, a very old wild cherry tree, actually. Here, it was always like a little oasis in our vineyard when we were working, not in the winter like now, but in the summer and spring, working in the vineyard, maybe doing the green harvest or cutting the shoots or leaf thinning. This was an oasis in the shadow. Everybody was sitting down here having a picnic, eating lunch. And obviously, when the cherries were ripening, all the time we stopped here and ate some cherries. My father loved this position, this location with the cherry tree, eating the cherries all the time. But unfortunately, a few years ago in the winter, the cherry tree was cut down by thieves and it was stolen for firewood. So it is very, very annoying, especially in this side of the vineyard. This is the edge of the whole wine region of our vineyards, not just our own vineyards, but the whole vineyards of the town. As you can see, it ends here, and only some farm fields are on the other side. And the other side of this hill are some communities where, I don't know how to say it, criminals live. And not just this cherry tree was the victim of these people, but also sometimes they steal the wires, sometimes the grapevines, they pull them out. So it's pretty annoying and we can't really do anything about it because, as I said, this is the edge and it would be a huge cost to try to protect it with some security or if we would install camera systems here, they would steal that too. So right now, we don't really have, I mean, we have a few solutions, which I'm not going to say here because I'm not going to share our ways, how we are planning to catch them. They might be watching, but that's the situation. That's the sad story of our wild cherry tree. Yeah, no more cherries in the vineyard. Obviously, it wasn't like it wasn't planted by us. It's not really, it doesn't really make sense to have a tree in the vineyard because obviously it had a huge shadow, which we personally enjoyed, but our vines in this few square meters didn't really enjoy it. But we accepted this sacrifice because we thought that it was bringing more joy to the people in the vineyard than the harm that it did to a few grapevines in the area. Obviously, it didn't like kill them by no means. It was a bit smaller. Okay, my phone is ringing again. Sorry. Stop it. Okay, is the live stream continuing? 1 2 1 2. Yes, it continues. Okay, let's get back to it. Next time I should put my phone in do not disturb. First lesson. Live streaming, obviously. For the people who are new in the show, I said at the beginning that this is the first pruning live stream. This is a test. Okay, I think this one is ready. So, where was I? Oh, yeah, about the cherry tree. So, it was here because obviously we are in Transylvania in the western side of it, right next to the Hungarian border. And this was obviously inside the communist bloc. And before the beginning of the 90s, all the vineyards were owned by the state. And obviously, as we all know, the state is not the best of winemakers or any other profession. So you don't want to let the state grow the wine, but that was its history. And obviously, the vineyards were not in the best condition. And in lots of the vineyards, there were some other extra trees. One very popular or very widespread thing in our region is that a lot of vineyards have peach trees inside in the vineyard. I mean, not a lot, obviously, but for each plot, a few peach trees. And the some people even call those peaches like vineyard peach because for this purpose, there is one very specific peach variety that is predominantly in these vineyards with the peaches, and it's called vineyard peach. Me personally, I don't really like them because they are a lot smaller and the taste is not that intense. But obviously, especially old people really like to eat them and reminisce about their youth, going to the vineyards and working there because lots of in the communist era, lots of people. I mean, not lots. Every single person had to work in the fields, in the vineyards, in the fruit gardens, uh, like by force, and even school kid. My mother always tells me the stories when they had to. She was she's from a different part of Transylvania, the almost the eastern part, which we call the Székely land, because that is like a specific territory entity of Hungarians, and it's high up in the mountain area in the Carpathian region, and they don't have vineyards there, obviously, but they grow lots of potatoes, and they have to go there to harvest or to collect the potatoes. And my father is from here, from Székelyhíd, and he had to work when he was a school kid in the vineyards and in the fruit gardens, in the peach farms. And it's so ironic also, but it feels like the justice of history that he was actually working in these exact vineyards as a child, forced labor, and now we own some of these vineyards, so it feels a bit like justice. It's so interesting to think about this fact. Okay, what I've noticed, which is not surprising at all, that if, since I'm doing the live stream, the pruning is a lot slower. So yeah, hey, I will take this sacrifice for you guys. Hope you enjoy and appreciate it. Man, I hope that the microphone works and you can hear me because it's a silent live stream and I'm talking here so much. It would be funny. It's like therapy. Okay, what should I cut here? It's quite confusing. Let's keep one bud here for replacement purposes. Let's remove this and let's keep. Okay, let's keep this one on the other side. Maybe a bit shorter. Maybe this one a bit shorter as well. Okay, so what is the situation here? Quite obvious. Another leaning tower of Székelyhíd. untwisted. Why is it so twisted and wrapped around the other line? Damn, a confusing technique. So obviously some of these solutions not made by us, but by some of our workers, because in the summer, when you have to adjust the shoots and do the leaf thinning and everything, we have some workers, which I'm not trying to blame them. They are very, very cool people and very professional, but obviously we are not the same. And sometimes they make different decisions than I would have imagined. Okay, now I just realized that this line is right. So this one is dead, this side. And if I would have my saw, I would saw this down. But since I don't, because I forgot it in the car, I'm going to just make it and collect these after the pruning season. Yes. So next, here we have another situation. This one should be cut down, but since there is an empty space here, I'm going to keep it just a bit more. And I'm not going to keep this, or should I? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? This one would be the best location, but as you can see, it's quite weak, and maybe this one has some disease as well. So I'm going to remove it. Let's see if the other end is healthy. Not really, so I'm going to remove this one. Or no, I should have removed it right from the base, right from here, and keep these two canes approximately the same length, like that. And let's decide what should we do with this. So it's a tough decision, It would be a bit more straight, but if we keep this one here, then it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to remove it actually. And let's keep this one as well. And we can use this whole area this way. Let's put this down since this is also quite dry and not the healthiest. Let's keep this one twisted down here. Okay, here, let's remove everything that we don't need. Okay, and maybe a small cane here as well. Like this. To remove it because it has too many buds. Okay, now this one looks a bit better, a lot more healthy and strong. Okay, I think we should keep this, but keep just one bud for it to be able to focus on it and grow a strong fruit this season. Let's check it out if the live is still working and I'm not speaking alone. Yes. Okay. 55 minutes. Wow. My phone is at 26%, so I might stop it at some point. But we are going to keep going for the moment. Let's see. Let's remove this one. Okay, we have lots and lots of strong and healthy shoots. Canes, I mean. This one is definitely one that I'm going to keep. Let's cut it up here. This one, the rest can be removed. Sure, it was too small and weak. And this one is also not ideal. Maybe keep an eye here for replacement, maybe for next year. Let's remove this one. This one looks like the solution for the other side. Set the height. Let's clear these shoots from the bottom because they are going to grow so many so many shoots in the next season, and this one should be cut as well. Mm, this bottom half should be cut also. Okay, looks good. Next, also very old line, but obviously it had thick trunk here, which died, but luckily we had this side growing. This one doesn't belong here. If it's not in a location to be in a better position than this one. And so you skip. Now let's see what can we do. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward situation. We are going to keep these two. Let's cut this down. Let's cut these odds from here. Let's cut this one here and this one as well. Easy. Shorten them. And this size is perfect. And we are good to go to the next one. Another very old vine. Let's just round a bit. This side is dry. Get some moss on it. Okay. What to keep and what to remove. Very tough. Very tough situation, not as straightforward as the previous one. But I'm thinking that we should aim for this middle area and not to bring it too far to the other side. But the problem is, as you can see, these canes are a lot shorter and weaker than these ones. These ones are strong. So I might have to keep one here as well, at least. And I'm going to keep this one because this one is the most beautiful, perfect location. Let's keep an eye there. Or not there. A bit closer. This one. It's okay. I'm going to remove this because it's not really promising too much. Okay, this one is okay. Here, we are going to have one more. Going to remove this. And this. Okay, now I can see the solution. This one is actually the only one that has the proper length because with these grapevines, size does matter in these cases. This part, we keep this, and this should be removed. It's going to be a thick boy. Let's cut it. No. Should have brought that saw. But it's okay because we can work with sheer power. Okay. Wasn't that tough? I was just overreacting a bit for your entertainment. So let's see what is going on here. That is a very, very late harvest grape. Okay, let's remove these because it's too much on the bottom and on the side, and we don't even need to replace this to remove some of this bark. Freshen up our vine. Let's remove this as well because it's weak. It's in a bad location and we don't need it because we have all these gains to work with, which are hopefully not that healthy, though. I mean, they are healthy, but quite some weaklings here, but this one looks good. Let's keep it. One is okay. It's a bit farther from the head of our geo line, but it's not a problem because we have many options here to keep a few buds for next year, and we can replace it from here and remove this arm. So we are in the safe zone. Those are the more problematic ones when the growing area goes too far on both sides and you don't really get any buds or cane from the correct locations, and it's very hard to bring it back. Obviously, it's doable because there are some latent buds that grow from years before, and sometimes they can start. But I'm going to keep one bud here, not for replacement, but only for this season to have a shoot here as well, because otherwise this area would be empty. So that's the reason. And I'm struggling to find a cane for the other side. I might choose this one. This one is also a bit on the edge, but actually I want to go with that one because these are just a bit too sorry, but I have to. Should I keep our bud here as well? Let's keep just one. Okay, this was a tough situation, but we resolved it. Okay, this one looks a bit more straightforward, if I'm not mistaken. This one is quite out of line, as you can see. So I'm removing it. Okay, let's remove this one as well. Now let's see what to keep. This one is pretty perfect, but I want to test it if it can also bend. Because if it breaks, then we didn't do anything. But it doesn't. So I'm going to remove the other side. It is also very thick cut. But let's see. Older the wood, the harder it is to cut. I mean, obviously the thickness is one of the main reasons, but also the age of the wood makes it tougher because these 1-year-old canes are not that tough, even if they are a bit thicker. They are more juicy. Here, this is the best way to show it. It's quite green inside. So these are fresh 1-year-old canes, but obviously this is going to be too long because here we have the next vine and we don't want to interfere too much with our neighbor here. And I might actually let's keep one arm here since this is going to be just a replacement line. Let's keep it this many buds, which I'm guessing is 10. Let's actually count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. Did you see that? My eye that or bud counting, which is actually quite nice when you are pruning. You get into this mental state of flow and you just feel what to do. Obviously, now that I'm doing this live stream and trying to verbalize some of my ideas and try to reason for them, it's a bit more different. But when you just shut up and just do it, sometimes it feels like autopilot and your body just knows what to do. So here, for example, I think this should look like that. This is going to be the replacement for this because obviously it's like pretzel, not good. We have to cut this down next year or the year after that, keep this one. But for this season, we also want to grow grapes. So I'm going to keep it with this cane and remove this part. So we are not having the double growing area. Okay, this one is also a pretzel. Let's see. Okay, So here we have a few replacement canes, but we only need one if we want to replace this old trunk with this very straight, very young cane. Let's keep it here. And now let's see how to resolve the old, very strong, very nice, but quite complicated. Let's remove this. When you don't know how to start, you just have to start cutting down things that you already know from the get-go that are not going to be useful for you. And then as you go, it starts to form an idea in your head. Already did. I want to keep this one for probably this side. If it doesn't break, it doesn't. It's good. It works. And maybe this one for the other side. And all the rest from that part is going to be removed. Obviously, as you can see, these are also quite thick and nice, healthy, but sometimes you don't want the thickest cane to keep because that can lead to lots of shoots and lots of growing, but less focus on the fruits because the wine feels like that has the opportunity to grow even bigger, grow lots of shoots, and photosynthesize like crazy. Basically, the wine becomes a bit hedonistic and focuses less on its children, on its little grapes, and more on himself. But these canes are more, more aligned with our ideas of high quality fruits. Obviously, this cane is not going to, we are not going to keep all the shoots here and keep grapes on it. This is just for replacement. We are going to place a stick next to it and have a few shoots here without grapes. And we want this part just to strengthen and replace our pretzel-like old wine. Okay, let me see if the live stream is still on and if my phone didn't die yet. Hello, Lucas Kolodziejski. I'm not sure if I have read that correctly, probably not, but thank you for the comment. Let me pull my gloves off and let me say goodbye to all of our viewers because my phone is going to die. I hope it was interesting for you. I hope that you learned something, or if not, at least enjoyed the live stream. Can I change the camera, or is my phone already not working properly? Okay, I can't change the camera for some reason. Okay, I'm going to twist it. So thank you guys for watching. This was the pruning session. Maybe I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow with a full battery of my phone. If the microphone didn't work, then I'm sorry for the silent film. I hope it did. And see you tomorrow. Bye bye.